Biggest game for Brock Purdy right now. Biggest game of Brock Purdy's career so far. Right now, this Sunday, when you think about the regular season matchups, and I'm obviously going to exclude the playoffs, but biggest regular season game for Brock Purdy.
I was going to say excluding the playoffs. I don't know, that Seattle game to win the division on short rest with broken ribs. I maybe it was just so new that we've kind of forgotten about it. I thought that one was pretty big. It does feel like every single week, because of how young he is, it's just a different opportunity to showcase yourself. And I feel like we're looking for every throw to be an indictment on whether he's good or not. Every single throw. See, he can do this. See, he can't do that. And so for every doubter and for every supporter, every win is another notch for their argument, which feels a little absurd because I feel like the body of work is pretty overwhelming at this point. And honestly, yeah, they need to beat the Cowboys so that they can have the tiebreaker. But it's not the end-all, be-all if he doesn't play well.
Well, I mean, when you think about the Cowboys and you think about their defense and you want to talk about everybody critiquing every single throw, how many throws did everybody critique last week? I don't think there's one throw you could critique. Not one.
No, I mean,
even the biggest complainers in the world. He went 20 and 21 for 283. The ball didn't touch the ground. We had Baldy on earlier this week on a Tuesday, as we do every single week. And Baldy was talking about the great 49ers teams, which is funny because we're talking about practice, and everybody doesn't make a big deal about practice. The goal in practice is, whether it was Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, Steve Young, or Rich Gannon with the Oakland Raiders or John Gruden, the ball doesn't touch the ground. The ball doesn't touch the ground. You practice perfection. You don't practice throwing interceptions. You don't practice throwing incompletions. You don't practice risking throws that you won't make. You practice how you're going to perform in the game. And right now, Purdy is performing at a high level, but I'm thinking this Sunday night, if there's any setbacks or anything with the Cowboys defense and he turns the ball over, as Guru likes to say, the vultures, the scavengers, they're going to be waiting in the cut. See. So that's why I think this game,
that I agree with.
In front of Mike Tirico, in front of Chris Collinsworth, this game's massive for Brock. Massive.
But the thing is that he already beat this team in the playoffs, right? So I hear everything you're saying.
They said he didn't beat him. They said the defense did.
Well, he didn't convert on a huge third down with George Kittle.
I agree with you.
He did.
I agree with you.
Outplay Dak Prescott in that game. He was more efficient than Jimmy Garoppolo was a year prior against the same opponent, albeit on the road, and this one was at home. I don't dismiss that for the national media. There are going to be so many people making this to be the end-all, be-all for Brock Purdy.
Oh, I agree.
Because this, to them, is the stiffest test.
Yep.
Right? And we always do this. We omit Seattle playoff game. We're going to omit the game up in Seattle to win the division. We're going to omit the Dallas playoff game, and we're going to make this the biggest one. It feels like that for all the young quarterbacks. Like Tua Tagovailoa is a person that I look at who played this weekend against Buffalo. How many people are coming out of that game against Buffalo? And no, he doesn't have the playoff wins that Brock Purdy has. But they're saying, see, I knew he couldn't do it on the big stage.
Yeah, I mean, but he
which
played
is unfair.
Well. Which is unfair if you watch that football game. It was Miami's defense is getting cooked.
Yeah, but
Miami's defense is porous. And Buffalo's pass rush got to Tua Tagovailoa, and they made him look average. But I didn't come away, but I'm sure national people, oh, man, Tua can't win a big one.
Exactly.
And it's
That's what I'm
stupid
saying.
if you watch the game because context matters. I want to get to something that Peter King said
I would say to you, I think it's a bigger game for Dak than it is for Brock Purdy.
Dak, to me, Dak's been in these games. The big games for Dak's coming in January. He will be judged by what happens in January.
Why don't we do the same thing for Brock Purdy?
Because he's so young in his career. 14 games in.
You're probably right.
You know what I'm saying? Dak's been in the league since 2016.
He's got game logs on top of game logs.
This could be the last season in Dallas for Dak Prescott. So his postseason is massive. He could win this game on Sunday, and Cowboy fans will still be looking for something to say, you know what? That does nothing. We've seen him win big regular season games before. But here's Peter King. He compares a Deion Sanders saying to Brock Purdy.
You've seen 48 sound bites with Deion saying some form of, if you can't see what's going on here, you're blind. Or if you can't see that we're going to be a great college football team, you're blind. honestly, that's exactly what I see when I watch Brock Purdy play. What isn't he doing well? What hasn't he convinced you of?
So that's Peter King.
It's got a Russell Wilson feel to it.
Oh, I hope not.
No, but like
because there's something. Marshawn Lynch. He sat down with Shannon Sharp yesterday. Boy. Go ahead. I don't
forget the personality. I'm talking about the player. Like, I think for a long time, I'm talking about for myself. You can disagree. But for myself, for a long time, I dismissed Russell Wilson. He's not this. He's not that. It's fluky. You know, what he's doing is because he's got great players around him. And I don't know. I diminished him at every single turn. And then 4 or 5 years later, I was like, you know what? All right, I tap out. This guy's really good. Now, look, it's not aging well because he's not playing well right now. But I will admit there was a time and place where I hated on Russell Wilson. And then you look up and all the guy does is carry his team down the field and score time after time.
But you know what? I don't think Brock Purdy's getting that hate. I see a lot of love and a lot of praise for him, and he deserves it. I don't see the same question marks that Russell Wilson had in Seattle earlier that tenure where it was like, oh, he's getting carried by the LOB. People were talking already that Brock's great. Brock is a top 7 quarterback.
Is that because of the offense flowing the way it is? Because the Seattle offense everything. Never flowed like this offense.
And this offense could carry the defense.
Yeah.
So when you score 30, 30, 30, 35,
yes,
and you score 30 in 7 straight regular season games, you get everybody's attention. So it doesn't have, to me, it's not even comparable to Russell Wilson and the criticism that he got. It was obvious, ride beast mode, take care of the football, play great defense. Shanahan empowers, I should say, Brock Purdy to take shots down the field, to throw the ball off first down, to open up the offense, to throw the ball downfield, to run every trick in the book. I think Shanahan has empowered Brock Purdy in a way that Russell Wilson didn't really get empowered until maybe year 3, year 4.
I mean, I watched that guy go into Atlanta his rookie year in the playoffs and single-handedly bring them back, even though they lost that game, and he was outstanding. I hear what you're saying, and no one's saying that he was putting up numbers that would even come close to what Purdy's doing. But that roster wasn't as good offensively.
Yeah, but you said it had a Russell Wilson feel, and I don't feel like Russell Wilson at all with Brock Purdy. I feel like a guy coming in.
I mean, Russ had a lot of hype.
I don't want to do this because
he was on national McDonald's commercials.
Yeah, but he was drafted. Matt Flynn was supposed to start.
Yeah.
He took his job. He didn't get those commercials until year 2, year 3 with Colin Kaepernick.
The first offseason of him starting, him and Kaepernick are in a McDonald's commercial.
But you said it had a Russell Wilson feel in terms of like the defense carrying.
The national narrative was that Russ wasn't the conductor. Russ was a passenger on the train.
See,
that's the analogy I would say.
Yeah, but I don't get that with Brock Purdy.
Okay.
I feel like people think he is the conductor. He is running the show, that he is
not
Shanahan's
Shanahan?
Trusted agent. Well, Shanahan's going to get something. McCaffrey's going to get something. But they're saying, boy, Shanahan finally has a quarterback he can trust.
All right.
He's won him over. Think about it. He came in and he got Trey Lance the heck up out of here because Brock Purdy was the leader of the clubhouse, right? Brock Purdy came in and took the job. Now, in that way, you could see some similarities, although Matt Flynn was a trusted veteran, I guess, been a backup for many, many years, and they paid him the money. Here, you paid the draft compensation. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I don't get those vibes whatsoever. I think the style of play is different.
Well, if that's obvious.
You know, the style of play is different.
But there is a scramble mode game to Purdy's game that you can see shades of Russell Wilson. And I guess more it's just how the national media covers the guy where they're like, and I remember Greg Cosell week after week, well, you know, I don't know how sustainable this is. What's it going to look like when they don't have Marshawn Lynch? He loves to make plays outside of structure. Yeah. I think Purdy's better in structure.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Purdy, from day one, was a better pocket quarterback than Russell Wilson. Now, I'm not saying he's a better pocket quarterback now. Russ in the pocket early on in his career could not play in the pocket. He could not. He had to improv. He had to get outside the pocket. He had to make you pay with the broken play. Purdy's beating you within structure from day one.
Oh, no, he's been outstanding.
Day one.
You still don't think there are haters similar to Russell Wilson early on?
There's haters everywhere, Shasky.
Well, that's my point. Any young player that ascends, there's going to be haters.
Josh Allen has haters.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes has haters.
Well, lots of haters, yes.
Tom Brady has haters.
Yeah, well, yes.
Stephen Curry has haters.
Yes.
LeBron James. So haters reside everywhere.
Even
everybody's got a
weak
hater.
Justin Fields has haters.
I mean, everybody has haters. That's the way of the world. Everybody's got a hater, be jealous about something here. But here's Peter King on Purdy needed to keep it up to be great. This is interesting.
To be considered one of the best quarterbacks in football, he's got to keep doing it, and he's got to do it in the postseason. That's obvious. But any guy who so far in his career, I think that's right. I looked it up the other day. 69% passer with a passing rating of whatever 108, 110. And I realize passer rating is not the be all end all, but the only way you can really criticize him, honestly, is if you keep having it in your mind that he was the 271st or whatever number pick in the draft, and you just can't accept the fact that somebody picked that low could be a great quarterback. Well, I think he's proving it almost every day now.
So that's Peter King on Willard and Dibs yesterday. He joins them every single week.
There is something to him being drafted so late, creating doubt amongst our own fan base, others, whatever. If he's like a second-round pick, not even a first, a second-round pick, I do think we look at everything completely different.
Possibly. Yeah, because you're expecting him to play as a second-round pick.
Right?
You are. He's the last pick of the draft, which is remarkable.
It really is.
He's the last pick of the
really
NFL
is.
draft. If he goes on to win, let's say Brock Purdy. I don't even want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. He hypothetically wins 3 Super Bowls.
Uh-oh.
Is his story greater than Brady's by winning 3?
I don't know. I mean, Brady ended up being maybe the greatest quarterback of all time by everyone's estimations. He's broken every single record possible.
Brock wins 3.
It's a great story. I mean, Tom
It's
Brady.
one of the best stories we've ever had.
Tom Brady. It's a great story. Tom Brady won 7.
I know.
I mean, it's kind of unbelievable to say out loud.
He won 7. If Purdy wins 3,
I mean, no, I do not know. I don't think it'll be bigger because Tom Brady was married to Giselle. Like, he was in our face for 25 years. He went to another situation and won another one. I hear what you're saying because he's around later, but they're pretty comparable. I mean, anybody, even if Mahomes wins 7, I don't even know if that story's greater than Tom Brady.
Oof. I don't know. Peter King, this is interesting too because we always discuss who's more valuable.
Do you think, before you move on, do you think it's greater?
I think it's one of the greatest stories in North American sports history.
Well, no, I agree, but you asked directly if it's better than Brady.
It might be. It might be considering the guy was a third stringer. Brady got drafted, okay, backup quarterback. You 1 hit away. You played here too. Brock Purdy was an afterthought. At least most of America, they watch a lot of Michigan football. We kind of knew who Tom Brady was. How many people knew who Brock Purdy was?
Not many, but he was also fighting for the starting job at times. Yeah, Tom Brady,
Drew Henson, which is why we knew who Tom Brady was.
It's exactly.
Tom Brady's keeping Drew Henson off the field. Tom Brady's keeping him off the field.
Did you see the clip of it recently? His first ever college pass.
It
was a pick 6.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it was a short little pass. He just completely telegraphed it, and it ended up being a pick 6.